Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show to you how to speak like Bruce Lee, his 60s and 70s Hong Kong accent English. So recently I watched a footage on Bruce Lee attending a screen test for the Green Hornet series in 1965. I think it was uploaded pretty much recently, I think it was a few months ago, an extended or remastered version. So I'm going to put the link in the description box below so you guys can watch it. So after watching the footage, I was pretty stoked about it, and I was pretty in awe by how powerful and assertive he was during the screen test, in which he was able to articulate his ideas and philosophy, especially in martial arts. In the 1960s, of course, there was white supremacy that had been happening inherently for like decades, and to have Chinese Asian going for that screen test at the age of 24. I repeat, at the age of 24, God knows what I was doing at the age of 24. I think at that age I was probably spoiling my life. That was a very young age. Personally, I think that his accent is the best representative of a Hong Kong accent at all aspects. And right now I'm going to boil down this video footage and show to you how Bruce Lee speaks and expresses his English. So before showing you some of the short clips of this video footage, I want to summarize his speaking patterns or attributes. Firstly, he is capable to articulate words with deliberate manners. I will explain more on that. Secondly, he is able to pronounce the R sound and the V sound. And what makes his accent so distinctive from other typical Hong Kong accents is that he's able to stress on diphthongs, on OA vowels, and some of the monophthongs, which I'll explain more on that. So typically for Chinese speakers, most of them, they cannot pronounce or differentiate diphthongs because in the Chinese language, there are no diphthongs. Because most of the Chinese words are being pronounced with short sound and they have no emphasis on diphthong. So diphthong is basically two vowels in a syllabus. For example, OA, OU. For diphthong and monophthong examples such as boat, bought, bold, and bald. So sometimes I couldn't even pronounce them correctly. So based on my observation, I think Bruce Lee's speaking attributes and patterns do not reflect on most of my Hong Kong accent videos because he can say the R sound, he can say the V sound, he can speak diphthongs and monophthongs, and also the schwa sound. But there's one thing that still remains in this accent, which is the Cantonese tones. So in the video footage, Bruce Lee mentioned the word mostly. So typically we would say like mostly in the morning or what. And you can notice that there is a diphthong of OA sound. So you need to say as mostly. So for Bruce Lee, he will start to speak with the first Cantonese tone and end with the fourth Cantonese tone. So it's like mostly. So in this video, I'm not going to talk about how the Cantonese tones affect Hong Kong people speaking English. And if you want to know more about it, please watch my other video. I will leave the link in the description box below. So Bruce Lee will say mostly in the morning with a lot of Cantonese tones embedded in his words.
Well, it's mostly in the morning because it's kind of noisy in Hong Kong, around 3 million people there. And so every time when you have picture, it's mostly say around 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning.
So I'm not sure whether that was a coincidence that he stresses a lot on diphthongs of OA sound and monophthong of open O sound. If you try to notice that, which is water, he will say as water, and also noisy, important.
Never take your eyes off your opponent, even when you bow.
So another word he say, which is opponent. So again, there is a diphthong of OA, which is opponent. So normally for a native speaker, they will start with schwa sound and try to emphasize a little bit on the OA, like opponent. But for Bruce Lee, he's tried to stress out this particular word, opponent, so he will say as opponent. And also with the Cantonese tones embedded inside, by starting with fourth Cantonese tone and then the first and then the fourth, like opponent.
Well, Kung Fu, the best example would be a glass of water. Why? Because water is the softest substance in the world. Water also is insubstantial. By that I mean you cannot grasp hold of it. You cannot punch it and hurt it. So every Kung Fu man is trying to do that, to be soft like water and flexible and adapt itself to the opponent.
So in his speech, you can notice that whenever he's tried to articulate his ideas, he tends to speak and stress with little or no schwa sound. And personally, I think that he was pretty much aware of it, and he just wanted to express his ideas in his unique way.
But in Kung Fu, it always involves a very fast motion. This is what we mean by simplicity. Same thing in striking and in everything. It has to be based on a very minimum motion so that everything would be directly expressed one motion.
You know, for Bruce Lee, I think that he is not only excels in Kung Fu or martial art, and I think that he is a very good performer or presenter with his unique way of expressions, you know, in terms of orally, physically, mentally, psychologically, and I can actually feel his superiority, and you know, these elements are pretty much important for a Chinese guy to exemplify his culture in the Western world, especially in the 60s or 70s, and that was a very harsh time. So I would like to implore to the Hong Kongers that don't try to lose your Hong Kong accent, but you know, learn to speak like Bruce Lee. So I hope you enjoy this video on how Bruce Lee speak his English in the 60s and 70s Hong Kong accents. Be like Bruce Lee. Thank you for watching.
Chinese Kung Fu is based on simplicity, where it involves single motion, a single strike to bring down your opponent. And Kung Fu is best represented by a glass of water. As you know, water is formless and you cannot grasp hold of it. You can feel it, but you cannot hurt it. Water is so soft that it can penetrate to the strongest element in the world and able to adapt itself. So be like water, to become formlessness, and that is how you adapt yourself in this terrifying world.